All right. Welcome back, welcome in. You have found us once again. Shoot the Gap, a fantasy football focus show spanning the generation gap of the 20s and 40s. I am your humble MC, Brian D'Amigo Baldwin, and it's my pleasure to introduce Connor, the Gut Marshall. How you doing, Connor?
Just down to protein shake, man. I gotta commit to making sure I have this pump every time we do the intro.
I know you're all about that warm liquid protein, brother. You talk about it all the time. Just can't get enough.
Hey, man, drinking warm liquid protein is good. It helps your muscles get nice and juicy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. There we go. We're so glad you guys found this. Welcome in. It's now the 65th show, June 1st, in this hopeful year of our Lord, and we do have a fantastic show for you today. So we're going to, of course, discuss the news and the rumors, and what we're going to do after that. Connor, any ideas? What you want to do after the news and rumors? What is this telling you to do? What is this telling you to do?
You know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I want to talk a little about Giovanni Bernard.
Oh, okay. You're a leg man, huh? You're a leg man.
I am a leg man.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't see it in you, but hey, man, we all got our thing. But all right, man. Well, dude, I think we got our intros in. So how about we just go ahead and jump straight into the news? What do you think, my brother?
Hell yeah, brother. Hit me with it.
No canoes is good canoes. No canoes is good canoes. You ain't got any rules. If you ain't got any canoes. Ha! I got
all right. Gary Canoe, starting us off. All right, man. So I got a couple of bits of news. A couple of bits, we can talk about, just something just to mention. I think the second one's a little bit more interesting than the first, but, you give respect where respect is deserved. And Adam Vinatieri is retiring, the most clutch kicker in NFL history.
Allegedly.
Retiring. Well, no, man, no, you can't fake.
I'm just throwing shade for his last couple years. He was a great kicker. The guy was getting at like 65 years old. So yeah, he's gonna miss a couple.
Well, no, man. Yeah, well, dude, when it goes, dude. But when he was hot, he was hot. So, yep. Yeah, like I said, most clutch kicker in NFL history. So, Adam Vinatieri, thank you so much for your service, sir. In OTAs in Tennessee, dude, the busiest pass catcher was Anthony Firkser. Okay, man. So the reason why that is news, because that is true. Okay, that he caught the most passes in OTAs. Now, of course, it's OTAs. So you don't get too excited about it, but that's a name that a lot of people have forgotten about, man. Anthony Firkser. Give me your thought. When I said Anthony Firkser, what was your first thought?
White guy that might play for the Falcons.
Wow.
Yeah. Even though you said the Titans, when I hear that, that's what I think of. I'm telling you, that's how forgettable it is.
Wow. No, dude, the guy was awesome. Whenever he filled in for Jonnu last year.
That's why. That's right. Yeah, I hate that guy.
Well, there's no reason to hate the whole
situation.
What situation?
The Tennessee Titans tight end.
Yeah. Well, what's their situation?
Well, guys, if you don't remember, last year I had Jonnu Smith for fantasy,
and
he started out really good, and I thought I didn't need to do anything because I had a surefire tight end.
Set it and forget it.
Yeah, set it and forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said it, and it ended up forgetting to get me points. Let me just put it that way.
Okay, so you're mad at last year. So you're saying that you don't like Anthony Firkser this coming season?
Yeah, guys, so this is a very typical response for fantasy football players to have. And Brian, he's done a perfect diagnosis. I have a little bias towards Firkser, even though I shouldn't.
And why shouldn't you?
Because it's a new year, and Jonnu Smith isn't there anymore.
Good. Okay. I was trying to pull that out of you because I was hoping that you remembered that. I was like, come on, man.
I'm trying to educate the people.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. Yeah, so that guy filled in fantastic. And there's a reason why they let Jonnu walk. Jonnu Smith, I know he was a little injury prone, but man, when he was on the field, he did really well, and they seemed like they had a quality backup, in Ferkser, so it looked like they had a good situation. However, they seem to be just Ferkser focused. So Tannehill likes to look at his tight ends, obviously. So yeah, Henry doesn't catch passes, So if they do short passes in the end zone, who is it going to go to? So, dude, that might be somebody like a dark horse, a sleeper. And I know that in all my mock drafts I've been doing, that he's going undrafted. So that's why I wanted to mention him. Pull him back up out, dust him off a little bit, because that might be something that might be a good thing. I think because I think the last thing we heard about him was a couple of months ago, whenever it was said that he needed to work on his blocking, and so people were a little nervous about that. But why, I don't know. All right, on to the rumors. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, because this is so much fun for me. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and with this one, the first one. Connor, I'm just going to go ahead and mention one name, then I'm going to let you take the rumors, because the rumors are obvious, okay, what's out there. But they're everywhere, right? So I want to see which ones you picked up. So give me the best, just, you know what, not even a timeline, just the bits of news that happened between last week and this week on the Julio Jones.
Oh, man, a lot of stuff. Can I skip to the end? Because...
No.
Damn it.
Get us there.
So
no. You'll get to the end eventually, but take us on a journey. You're trying to educate us, right?
That's what she said. So I started off, there was talk of him going to the Titans, the Seahawks, and we were talking about the Broncos. Everyone wanted him to be on the Broncos.
We were not. Only Brock was.
I wanted him to be on the Broncos.
Look my hat. Of course I would want him on the Broncos, but we were the only ones that were talking about. Brock was the only one that brought it up and was really seriously considering it. This is just because of fandom. Yeah.
True. Okay, so not the Broncos. There was, I want to say there was talk of him being on the 49ers too. I think someone mentioned the Jets at some point, but I didn't take that one seriously. But the last piece of information that I read said that the Seahawks are the favorite to land him. Mm-hmm. So I guess this is their way of trying to please Russell Wilson, because anyone who's been paying attention to football over the last couple months knows that Russell Wilson is unhappy in Seattle.
Yeah. Well, that this might be his last year, because I think he's on his last year. Yeah. But and of course he's been talking to Julio. Those reports, he was talking to Julio to recruit him. So yeah, man. But dude, it went from like this past week to like the Titans had a meeting, but they're a long shot. Then all of a sudden, then it went on TikTok. AJ Brown did something to try to recruit him, right? And then all of a sudden, the Titans were were now the ones that were favored. And then all of a sudden you hear, well, here comes Russell Wilson, and then you're right. So let's do this, dude. This is what I want to do. Okay, there were reports. Okay, I can tell you right now that the only thing we do know is that Atlanta said that they do want to trade Julio in early June. So after June 1st, it might be happening right now while we're doing the show. Because this is the magic number everybody's been waiting on, so that because of the amount of money and the cap hit that it would take if they traded before June 1st and if they traded after. But there were reports that they had several trade discussions with one trade discussion that included a future first round pick. That was back on May 27th. But now they're saying that the Falcons are willing to accept a hard second round draft pick for Julio, because it came out that they'll have to pay him $38 million. Okay, if they don't trade this man. So yeah, so that's what we know. Okay, but I want to play a game with you, dude. I want to play a game with you. I didn't prepare you for this, but you're the gut, so you went prepared for it. Prepare for it anyway. You don't even close your closet door. That's how gutsy of a guy you are. You just don't care. There could be a boogeyman in that closet ready to come out. It could be a boogeyman right there, dude, ready to come out. And but you don't care. You keep the door open.
I'll send his ass back to the pit of Tartarus where he came from, bro.
So this is what I'm going to do. I pulled up whenever I pulled them up, they were for yesterday. These are the odds as of May 31st on a betting website. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and until we get to the crazy ones, like plus when we get to like plus, I don't know, man, 900 or something, we'll stop. But the top one is exactly what you said, Seahawks plus 150. So when I mention that, I want you to give me your thought as if he landed on there. What's the ripple effect, real quick? The ripple effect of Julio landing here. Okay, so if he landed on the Seahawks, who goes up, who goes down, what happens?
Chef Russ is cooking. Instantly, Chris Carson is less relevant. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are going to be splitting targets between Julio. It's going to be like it's going to be like when the Rams had 3 good wide receivers. I want to say there was a year when Peyton Manning was on the Broncos, and it was like that. Brian, at this point, is also probably thinking of the Jets when they had Fitzpatrick and they had like those 2 white. We've seen this before. Vikings, okay. Diggs, Thielen. Vikings last year, Thielen, Jefferson. I would invest in Russell Wilson. I would probably invest in DK if I had to choose a wide receiver between those 3. I like Julio as an addition to the team, but I think everyone understands that he's obviously older and he's not going to be as good as he was.
Right. You're 100% right. He's going to be taken probably from Tyler Lockett. It'll probably be those 2 old guys battling it out. Yep. And if y'all hear meowing in the background, that's Toothless, my black cat. Yeah, he's
Toothless.
Yeah, he still has 1 more week, I think, left of quarantine, and hopefully he'll be able to join the pack. We'll see. Or the glaring that I found out that a pack of cats was called. All right, yeah, man. So yeah, okay. That all sounds. But you're not high on Chris Carson to begin with, so that has to be said first. First and foremost.
Can I say this before we move on from Chris Carson?
Of course. Yeah, sure. We're gonna move to the next team.
But I want to talk about Chris Carson. So you remember what I was talking to you about this the last time we did a draft. He recently switched trainers. Like personal trainers, and I follow the personal trainer that he uses on Instagram. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, he's a moron.
What makes him a moron? I mean, you said that, but
he does like dumb. He has his athletes doing like gimmicky exercises. Like it's the type of stuff where like he's making them do it because they don't know any better and they think it's cool. So they think they're getting some type of workout that like no one else does. Like he makes all his people work out barefoot, and like he'll have them like curling like while they're squatting. Like he just has them doing too much shit.
Okay.
It's just gimmicky. And he never has them use full range of motion either. For anyone Now here's the thing. For anyone who knows anything about working out, you know that you have to use full range of motion. And if you disagree, you're wrong. Now, these NFL athletes, they're doing this, the ones that are training with this guy, I mean. So Chris Carson, he's working out and he's using less range of motion. Now, why that's bad? It isn't bad for your muscle. It's bad for your joints. When you usually get injured, it's your joints that get messed up, not your muscles. You don't get an injury from not squatting low enough because you didn't develop the leg muscle. It's because your joints are fucked up because you never went all the way down. Now, these NFL athletes, you got to bear in mind, they're doing steroids. We don't do steroids, so we don't put on as much mass as quickly as they do. Now, when you put on more mass, you don't put on more joints. So your joints, your joints are going to get affected even more. So the risk increases exponentially almost. So we've already been talking about how Chris Carson is injury prone. Mark my words, he will not play a full game this season.
Okay. So would you invest in the guy that you
Penny?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's going undrafted, isn't he?
Yep. Yeah, I mean like.
Yeah, I would.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, if you believe in that much, then go ahead and draft that. I don't know. Like, if you've been watching the show, I don't normally advise you, like in the draft, to draft your handcuff because it's just so hard to hold on to. However, if he doesn't finish as predicted by the gut, all right, that if Chris Carson does not finish a game, meaning he would not finish the first game, then yes, you'd want to draft Rashard Penny, and you would want to make sure and have him because you're going to use him in week 2. So yeah, that's what it seems like. So okay, all right. So the summary of that is Russell Wilson stock up, Carson and DK and Lockett stock down if he hits. Okay, all right. The next one in line, plus 200, Titans. So he lands on the Titans. Bam! What happens? What's the ripple?
The Titans don't get stalled out of drives anymore. The Titans probably score about a touchdown or 2 more a game. It's just a little bit up for everyone on the team.
Really? A.J. Brown?
Yeah, because they need that talent. Because the problem with the Titans, but if I'm the defensive coordinator for the other team, I'm saying, okay, double Henry and double A.J. Brown. I mean, the rest of their team is good. You have some serviceable guys. You have some talented guys like Humphreys. I mean, Tannehill can Suedo move in the pocket. But if you had...
Who did we just talk about?
Yeah, the tight ends guy, yeah.
Yes, Ferkser, yes, absolutely.
They have Ferkser, but I wanted to mention mention this later on the show. If his blocking remains an issue, I think he'll be splitting reps.
Okay.
Because the Titans are going to take that seriously. They're a run-first team. You have to be able to block.
Sure. No, I hear you on that.
But let's just say he is the tight end for the sake of the argument. I'd say they'd all do a little better because with Julio there, if you double A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry, Julio is open for the slant. Julio is open for the cross down the middle. Julio's open for the post.
That's if you're watching on YouTube, that's him. That's Toothless. That's him. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. And that makes sense because it opens up more scoring opportunities for Henry. Because your first thought is like, oh well, Henry's going to go down. No, I think you're right. It'll help him out because definitely when they get close to the goal line, they'll be giving it to him, not to Julio Jones. Yeah. And Julio Jones probably doesn't have the to get it to the goal line, but we'll get you within the 5.
He's still a very hard worker. He's the best type of old wide receiver you'd want on your team.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and do this, okay? So Seahawks, I would fantasy-wise, I would hate for him to land in Seattle. I would hate that, okay? The Titans, I would like for him to land there.
Me too.
I think that'd be a great spot. Okay, so we have that now. The third in line plus 300, of course, New England Patriots. So let's say he lands on the Patriots. What happens there?
I hate this for I hate the Patriots for fantasy in general, and I hate it more when good talented players go to the Patriots.
Yeah, well, like the Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith thing. I mean,
yeah.
Golly, man, that sucks so bad. I was so excited about those guys, going into free agency to see what they're going to do, whose team they're going to land on, going to be better, and they land on the same team, so they zero each other, or it looks like they zero each other out. Who knows? We're going to find out if Belichick really is a genius, and he had something cooking, like he's like, I need 2 really good tight ends because we're going to be running 2 tight end sets, and they're both going to eat. But they both eat? Both of them eat? No. I mean, I think only one's going to eat. You just don't know who's going to be, so.
I mean,
it's kind of.
He might also... I'm just throwing this out there. He might be using them to block.
Yeah, you might be right about that. Yeah, you're 100% right about that. But okay, so he lands there. Okay, so we already know that Henry and Jonnu Smith, they hurt themselves, each other. So Damian Harris is somebody that people are getting kind of excited about because the report came out. The report came out that it was going to be a 1-2 punch between Harris and Sony Michel. So, and especially whenever you start drafting in that range. Like the range of like the that's the middle round, right? And that's where oh my gosh, it's tough to find like a running back because some of them are so low, or the value should be so low you don't want to pick them, but you feel like you need to pick a running back at that time. So that's whenever you pick up Damian Harris, but people are excited about it. So you're saying that's low anyway. Cam Newton, what would that do to Cam Newton if Julio was there? Because that's the whole reason why they're talking about it. He wants to play with Cam Newton.
I don't even know if he's going to be quarterback, dude.
That's what, you're right, Belichick lies, but at least that's what he's saying right now. And that's kind of like his thing. Belichick would go with the veteran, at least to begin the year, and so...
Until he inevitably does bad.
But what if Julio they pushes to go there because he wants to play with Cam Newton? Then Cam Newton's kind of tied to the throne unless he's hurt.
Sometimes when I hate something so much, I'm going to believe that it's never going to happen, even if there's a chance it is. That's what I'm doing with this. That's how much I hate it for fantasy.
Okay, so what you're saying is for fantasy, New England really wasn't fantasy relevant to begin with, and this doesn't do anything except for does it make Julio Jones fantasy irrelevant?
I guess he'd be the one if he was there.
Correct.
That's not good.
Okay, he goes down. All right. The next one, which is the one that was actually part of the rumor, I'm not sure if we talked about it, but though it was floated that Baltimore is interested in Julio Jones if the price is right, but they're next in line. Ravens plus 550. If he lands on the Ravens, I think we'll probably do one more after this. If you're feeling it, maybe even stop at the Ravens. We'll see where we're at.
No, give me all of them. Give me all. I like this.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the Ravens. Boom! He lands on the Ravens. What does it do? What's the ripple effect?
It'd just be weird because I don't think they'd throw that much. I mean, they already drafted a wide receiver. I mean, unless they unless they want to stop running 2 tight end sets.
They might.
They did upgrade their offensive line, so I could see that. I mean, look, here's the thing. Right off the bat, Julio's a great blocker, so he would do good on the Ravens, because the Ravens are gonna, their wide receivers need to be able to block. I mean, they already drafted the big guy in the draft, possession receiver, because that's the problem with having Marquise Brown as a wide receiver. He ain't blocking shit. So, you'd have Julio, you'd have 2 new blockers. Yeah. I mean, I don't love it.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I might invest in it depending on the price. But really, all that would do would make me higher on Lamar Jackson, who I'm already pretty high on because he's going in the 6th right now.
Yeah, he absolutely is right now, which I don't think that's going to be the case whenever we actually get down to it. You're talking about Rashad Bateman. That's who you're talking about. Who they draft? Yes, yeah.
And his nickname is Batman now.
Okay, sure. Yeah, no problem. All right, but you guys say it like that. Rashad Bateman.
Batman.
Rashad Batman. Rashad. As you'd say it. But, okay, so you're saying, so Marquise Brown was a non-factor to begin with. Mark Andrews, up, down. Up or down? What does it do?
It could make him less valuable, or it could make him stay the same.
Okay, so either... well, pick one, dude.
But it could also make him more valuable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know on this one.
Yeah, pick one. Gun to balls. Pick one.
It stays the same.
All right. Okay, and then J.K. Dobbins, because we talked about Derrick Henry's uptick. Would that be the same for J.K.?
Let me just say, you can call J.K. the Dominator all season long.
Is he still like that? I mean, is he still somebody, is he still the Dominator, you think? I mean, should you draft him as a Dominator or as Dobby?
I think you should draft him as the Dominator.
Okay, all right.
But who knows? Maybe he is a Dobby.
Yeah, I've actually been, it's time to get those wheels back into motion about how he was at the end of the year, and he kind of took over that front field, or the backfield, I should say.
He took all the fields: the backfield, front field, side field.
Okay, so in summary, we have Marquise Brown was nothing, Andrews the same, J.K. Dobbins is up, right? Would go up, and Lamar Jackson would go up. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And how about Julio Jones? How would his stock go if he landed in the Ravens?
He'd probably do better than he did last year.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So, say stock either the same or raising, right? Because he's already going like in the 3rd round, I think it is, or 4th round. So probably be going about there. Okay. So he goes. The next one in line is plus 900. The Raiders. Bam! Lands in the Raiders. What's the ripple effect?
This is ugly.
Mm-hmm.
It makes Ruggs less valuable.
Okay.
It makes them pass more, so their running backs probably become a little less valuable, which was going to happen already because of all the hits they took to their line in the offseason.
Yeah, and then
probably
now they're going to be doing RBBC, I bet.
It probably gives their quarterback a higher floor. It would probably, in this format, Julio would be great in PPR, and if the quarterback was getting points for completions, yeah, it depends on what you're in. It would probably hit Waller just a little bit.
So Waller down,
Yeah.
Ruggs down, but Ruggs is already going undrafted, I think. So
Yeah.
yeah. So that, and then Jacobs and Drake down. Okay, so that's kind of a weird thing to invest in anyway. I mean, that's like I'd probably invest in that in the double digit. Well, I don't know, man. There's been a lot of I've been hearing some positive things about Jacobs, but whatever. But as of right now, those guys go down. Derek Carr goes up. All right. So pretty much all negative except for Derek Carr. Julio Jones, does his stock still stay in the 3rd round?
I wouldn't draft him there if he was on the Raiders. That's like a 5th round pick.
Okay. All right. Okay, and all right, the next one in line, 49ers plus 1,000. Bam! What's the ripple effect?
They still suck.
What? The 49ers? Come
Bro,
on, man.
Fuck the 49ers.
Ooh, wow, that's your opinion, not mine. Okay,
Yeah.
I would not say
49ers,
that.
fuck you. fuck.
You're not going to get the
49ers.
defense?
No.
You don't like the defense? You don't like Kittle? You don't like the fact that Mostert, with the news about Jeff Wilson being out at the beginning for half a year?
I'll draft Mostert for sure.
Right. Okay. Well, then what about Ayuk? What about him or
Ayuk
Debo?
and-
Yeah, Ayuk is a freak. He's a physical
All
freak.
those guys would do great until I trusted in them, and then when I needed them most, they'd fuck me over. They're an inconsistent offense.
Okay, so would Julio Jones give them the consistency?
I don't think he would, because where they lack consistency is at quarterback, and that's still unanswered. I mean,
They drafted somebody.
I know they
that
drafted
might be-
somebody that might be able to do something. Their offensive line is really what I want to see how good it is. Now, if he was on the 49ers, I wouldn't say Julio is a 5th. I would say he's a 4th. So it's better than the Raiders. I want to make that
Okay.
clear. It's better than the
Okay.
Patriots.
Okay, Kittle's being drafted in the 3rd. Would that affect him?
I'm kind of, I don't know what to do with Kittle at this point because he has kind of an injury history. I think he will continue to have an injury history. And the problem with drafting Kittle is that when you draft him, you spend up high, so you count on locking and loading him in. So
Yeah,
it's
3rd
not
round.
you see what I'm saying? So it's not really good for. That's what's great about Kelsey. He stays healthy, or he only misses a game or two. With Kittle, he could be out for these like 3-game stretches, and you're fucked. And you don't know.
How about the year?
Exactly. So, me personally, I'm kind of off on Kittle. If you want to draft him, go ahead and draft him, man. That's just me being honest, saying what's in my gut.
No, I got different targets that I'm looking at. Mainly because in the 3rd round, there's way too much value in other things. I understand that there's a lot of shows out there, and rightly so. It's again, this is fantasy football, so just because we say something doesn't mean that it's the gospel. I mean, you You play your team the way you want to play. You draft the way you want to draft. We're just giving you some advice, some help you make your decisions. Either that sounds good or that sounds stupid. I'm going the other way. Whatever it is, I just hope that we're helping you make your decision.
Exactly.
Whatever the case may be.
Maybe your success comes from always doing the opposite of what we do.
Yeah.
But it's still because of us.
Right, but there is a case to be made about getting that positional advantage. That's why I hear the word positional advantage, because when you get Kelce, you have a positional advantage. The guy that I played in the championship this past year, where I got this little guy because I beat him, but only because it's the Lord's will, not because of my skill. Hey, that rhymed. I need to write that down. Copyright that. But he had Kelce, and dude, Kelce was blazing during the fantasy playoffs. Holy mackerel, dude! That guy was on fire, and that's exactly what you want when you're drafting. That's exactly what you want in your lineup. So, but Kelce's second pick of the draft, man. You're giving up. If you go by tiers, you're going to give it up at least a definitely first round, because those are usually gone in the first round anyway. But second round, third round tier player, running back, about a second and third round tier wide receiver. So you're giving up a lot. Maybe in first round, actually, considering how many running backs go in the first. Yeah, dude, you're giving up a lot. To get that. So the thing that you hope for anybody out there that drafts Kelce is you do not want either myself or my brother to draft him, okay? Because every time my brother and I draft somebody who's questionable, they go out. We both got bit by the Barkley bug. 2 years ago for me, last year for him. Okay, so you don't want us to draft Kelce. I'll warn you if that happens, so you can try to sell high before he gets injured. Okay, so yeah, but back to the lecture at hand. So Kittle, does he go down with Julio?
He stays the same.
Ayuk, does he go down?
Yes.
Okay, Debo.
Yep.
Mostert.
Stays the same? Question mark?
Okay. All right. And what about Mac G? I'm combining Mac Jones and Jimmy G. Mac G. Because we don't know who the quarterback's going to be. So
Mac Jones isn't on the Niners. He's on the Patriots.
That's who they should have drafted. That's right. They drafted the other. Okay, so the quarterbacks. Thank you, sir. Thank you. But that would have been a cool nickname, though, right? I kept that in my mind because I just haven't. I mean, it just was like a thing that was going to happen. It was going to happen. It was what was supposed to happen. Yeah, but I think it was Justin Fields. They got Justin Fields, right?
Fields, yes.
Okay, Justin G then.
That still works, Justin G.
It still works, yeah. That was cool, though.
Let me just put it this way. The 49ers, ever since the 2000s, have had a history of not handling their quarterback situation well. And I don't expect that to change anytime soon.
Okay, so
it's gonna stay the same because I don't think it's gonna be as bad as it was last year, but that doesn't mean it's good.
Man, I think that with that, I would most of your things you're hitting on. Actually, pretty much all of them I'm agreeing with, but I would disagree on this one, mainly because I think the quarterback you're going to draft any one of the 49ers quarterbacks if whoever you like, but you'll draft them in the late double-digit rounds, right? Like Justin Fields is going undrafted. However, but like in a 10-man, but in a 12-man, when you get down there, you might want to take a flyer on Justin Fields just to have him. Especially if Julio Jones is there, then I would pick up Justin Fields with the understanding that if Jimmy G starts, he's not going to last. And that Fields would come in and I'll have something kind of golden, at the middle to the end of the year, if not sooner. So I would say the QB situation would go up a little bit. If you're Justin Fields, how about that? Justin Fields, Jimmy G is where he is. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and talk about this next team as if how are you doing right now, dude? Are you good? I mean, because I got a lot more stuff we could talk about. We can move on if you want to. If you want to, we can move on.
Let me check for time.
Yeah, dude, we're at 35 minutes right now.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay, cool. All right.
I think we've helped the people out enough because any of the
yeah.
other teams aren't going to be serious suitors.
Correct.
For our boy Julio.
Because we're at, I'll just finish out the list, just run it real quick. We have Packers plus 1,100, Dolphins plus 1,200, Cowboys plus 1,600, Chargers plus 2,000, Colts plus 2,000, Giants plus 2,500, Bills plus 2,500, Eagles plus 2,800.
He is not going to the Dolphins.
He's not going to Cowboys. He already said he wasn't going to because he wants to win. Gotta love saying it. But before we move on to the next one, I just want to go ahead and make sure and thank the supporters of the show.
Yeah!
What you go to start us off there, Connor?
I'm going to shout out Sports Host, the premier sports app. An app so awesome, I have to talk about it like this. Download it in the link below.
All right. Okay. Oh my gosh, dude, that.
You weren't ready for that.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't
ready for that either. That just happened organically, man.
Wow.
Something came out of me.
It sounds like it. Yeah, sounds like it, man. It sounds like it's. I would hate the fact for that to be continue to be inside you. So I'm a happy man that it came out of you. So I'm going to talk to you guys about the High Volume Music Radio. Some of you guys are listening to us on the High Volume Music Radio app. Thank you so much. You know the value of it. But those of the unlearned that have not learned yet the value of this awesome app, the High Volume Music Radio app, let me tell you, man, you get some shows like Andrew B's Vocal Sounds, the Business Lodge Broker Show, the Soul Brothers Show, What's on Your Mind with Aunt Boogie, and Blame It on the Boogie. And of course, you get our show, Shoot the Gap, all that on one app. Oh my gosh, and you can also check out their website, highvolumemusicradio.com. Connor, if it ain't high volume,
then it ain't loud enough.
Woo, that's how you do it, man. That's exactly how you do it. And of course, you know, the pride of Sunnyside, man. So, got to say it with me, man.
The pride of Sunnyside.
Yeah, all right. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next thing, dude, which I think is something that we should be talking about. Dude, this affects us. And when I mean us, I mean you and I specifically. You, Connor, Marshall, me, Brian, Baldwin. It affects you and I directly. Sir, there might be a new Voldemort in town.
Fuck.
There might be a new Voldemort in town, dude.
I think I know who you're talking about.
There's a report that Urban Meyer may bring Tim Tebow in to play a Taysom Hill type role at quarterback. What's your thoughts on that, man?
Man, I need to smoke about that. That would suck.
Well, we could do Voldemort, because I told you, like, when you start pulling it out, you know, I don't know if Taysom Hill's Voldemort, because...
Well, speaking of Taysom Hill, Voldemort, and Tebow would be the new Voldemort. He would be the guy that I was using for my Voldemort streak if he was actually doing
yes,
that.
We were
and he's done that before, because he did that when he was on the Jets.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So he might... You know, we might have to switch because Taysom Hill no longer is like a jack of all trades dude. You know, that screws up Kamara.
Now he's just a jackass of all trades.
Sure. And then now we could have Tim Tebow, who could be messing up, was it Etienne or Robinson, you know, so, you know, or DJ Shark, you know, so, or Marvin Jones.
Tebow's on the Dolphins.
Tebow is on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, he's on the Jaguars. He's on the other Florida team. I forget.
Urban Meyer.
There's like three Florida teams.
Is the key.
That's right.
The clue.
Urban Meyer.
Yeah. So
wasn't he coaching? He was coaching Florida whenever. Yeah.
Well, that was the whole thing, right? Yeah. I mean, he got to see Trevor Lawrence and Etienne up close, and this is why, like, James Robinson truthers, if they're still out there. This is why Etienne's going to come over, you know, because he also catches passes. And Trevor Lawrence is going to be awesome. I mean, he has so many skills. He has the ability to be awesome. Saying he's going to be is difficult, but he has the ability to be awesome. And he has
his pass-catching running back who he liked.
That's right. Who he won a championship with. I mean, come on, man. You know, I mean, come on. You know, I mean, okay. All right. Moving on. Okay, so... Angry Rogers update. All right, that's what I want to get to. Angry Rogers. So the Packers GM, Brian Gutekunst, a new name that I like to say in the
Gutekunst?
show. Gutekunst is holding firm.
Kunst.
Yes, Kunst. That's
No
what I
one
love
ever
about it.
made fun of him in school.
Never.
Never.
Yes, that's Dick Butkus. All right, so
And Harry
yeah,
Johnson.
Right. So it's holding firm. He won't trade Rodgers despite the QB not attending the OTAs. I was looking into it, man. If this drags into training camp, the Packers could fine him up to $2 million, man. And if he never reports to the team, he will have to pay back a $6.8 million roster bonus. Also, forego his remaining $23 million signing bonus. Okay, so whenever you say that, like, well, Rodgers has all the cards. Well, so, dude, I don't think he's going to be playing next year for Green Bay. I mean, I just don't see how it's going to. I mean, like you said, whenever you and I were talking before the show, we're about 2 months out, man. Like we're in June. All right, so in August is about training camp. So 2 months out from training camp, and they're still like this, and it's not because of it's a contract issue. It's hurt feelings. Then that's difficult to mend. So, we talked about that package that Denver had. So, he might be going, hopefully he'll go to Denver, but I don't think he'll do well there in Green Bay. What's your thoughts, man? You agree?
I agree. Selah.
Okay. This is one thing I wanted to get your opinion on. So, there's a report that at least 3 tight end needy teams have explored a possible trade for Zach Ertz, but Philly said they won't part for nothing in return. Okay, and last I read, they were wanting a 3rd and a 4th round pick for him. So, apparently that's not been either they're upping the ante or that has not been discussed. But this is the thing I wanted to ask you really, really quick. All right, so just real quick, off the top of your head, name 3 teams that you think that could have been those 3 tight end needy teams. Who do you think those 3 tight end needy teams were?
Can you give me a second to list my? Because I can think of them. I just need a second to see them all.
I have a list. And you just tell me yes or no.
Oh, okay.
Hey, let's do that. Okay, that way it's not unless. And also while you, I'll say my list. You say yes or no. If there's anybody else that I missed out or you want to mention, how about you pick it up? How about that?
Hell yeah, brother.
Okay, Arizona.
Yes.
Okay, Carolina.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because dude, I swear, you ever watch The Wonder Years?
Yeah.
Okay, the one of their tight ends' name is Dan Arnold. That has to be the dad's name on Wonder Years, man. It has to be. I don't know if it is or not, but maybe. Okay.
Wait, is Sam Darnold throwing to Dan Arnold?
Yeah, or Ian Thomas. That's the guy that's on top of the depth chart. I just want to say Dan Arnold. No,
that's not important. I just want Sam Darnold to throw to Dan Arnold.
Darnold to Arnold. Yeah, that'll get you. That'll get your tongue moving.
I want to hear, because if he does that, then it's a touchdown. We're gonna hear a commentator say it, and we get to listen to him fuck it up.
That's awesome. New Orleans. All they have is Adam Troutman.
No.
Okay. Buffalo.
No.
They have Dawson Knox and Jacob Hollister.
They're gonna no, because they just picked up Manny Sanders.
Okay. Cincinnati with Uzomah and Drew Sample.
No.
No? Okay, so far we have Arizona, Carolina, and who's the 3rd mystery team then?
You know what? I'm going to say that it was not the one that you just said, not the Bengals, but it was the one. I'm sorry. It was the one before the Bengals.
That was Buffalo.
Yeah, I'll say that Buffalo did it.
Okay. All right. So it was Buffalo, Arizona, Carolina. Okay. We'll see. Let's see here. Moving on. Okay, a report came out. This is something I want to talk to you about. WTF. What we affectionately call here on the show Washington Team Football. A report came out that they want Gibson more involved in the pass game. Exciting, right?
Exciting. I like the Lightning.
Yes. But then they just today, I believe, whenever practice it's Thursday. Whenever practice ended Thursday, there was 3 running backs that took snaps at the OTAs. It was Gibson, it was McKissick, and who else do you think it was?
Oh God. Do you want? Can you tell me? I don't.
Yeah, 3 seconds. 2, 1. Okay. Curtis Samuel. Okay.
Oh.
Yes, he is now taking snaps at the running back position. Okay, and you saw what he did. To when Mike Davis was pumping, here we come, Curtis Samuel, mess it all up. Okay, and he's reunited. He used to do that whenever McCaffrey was around. He would zing from McCaffrey. So if he did that to McCaffrey, he's reunited with his old coach, Ron Rivera,
whom I love and respect.
Yes. So he's reunited with him. They signed him for a reason, dude. What is that? Is it really like just those things?
I think it's what you think it is, guys. It's not, the easiest answer is the one right in front of you. Curtis Samuel is probably gonna take zone sweeps. He's probably gonna get a rush or 2 or 4 a game.
Yeah. So.
And you got to think about who that eats into. That doesn't eat into the other wide receivers like it does the running backs, right? So, for someone like Antonio Gibson, who's already splitting carries with someone, this kind of fucks his shit up.
And Lamar Miller's there too. Yeah. So.
And Lamar Miller's there.
Yeah. So I don't know if Antonio Gibson really is worth putting as your depending on him to be your stud running back RB1 that's going to be constantly providing those points for you, because you get him in the second round and that's what you're looking for, is a player that's going to be consistent. I'm not sure if he's going to do that. That's what it does. It messes up his consistency. That's what it does to Gibson. All right, Corey Davis picked up a mild shoulder sprain in practice, but the plan is to rest him and he should be ready by training camp. However, he is going to miss some valuable time with their new QB, Zach Wilson, man. Were you high on Corey Davis anyway? No, yeah. What I heard on one podcast was a perfect description. Corey Davis does what Corey Davis does.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what he does, and so if you remember, one thing was that last year I started becoming a believer, and so did the Doc. The Doc became a believer. He picked him up and tried to but he was so hard to figure out when he was going to do well, when he wasn't. When AJ Brown's out, so now he's going to be the number 1. No, he wasn't. Smith was, or Firkser was. It was. Davis is just a frustrating player. So he was frustrating to begin with. I think it helps out either the rookies they just drafted or mainly Jamison Crowder. That thing, because Crowder is a QB's best friend. They always lean on him, and so it's either something like how he talks to them, or his whatever he does, he always makes them making them not forget about him. How about that? Okay, so that's what I think it is.
He always connects with his quarterbacks.
There you go. That's probably the most simplest way to say it. Saints head coach Sean Payton stated that they could lean heavily on their RBs this season. Okay, so that makes sense.
Interference.
Well, see, that makes sense.
Every time we talk about Sean Payton now.
Okay. It makes sense because a new quarterback, and I've always said that the 2 best friends, other than of course the obvious O-line, the offensive weapons, the 2 best friend offensive weapons speaking for a new quarterback is a pass catching running back and a tight end. Okay, those are the 2 things that always help those new guys out. So of course, Kamara, why wouldn't you just boop, drop it to Kamara and have fun? I was looking at whenever the league ends, or the league season ends, I should say, I always take snapshots of who was the leader, so I can reference them now and remind myself who did really well last year without any bias, just looking straight at the black and white. And Kamara, was like number 2, even after all the mess that he dealt with. He was like, I think, number 1 or number 2 on the list of producers. So that guy is going to be great. Kamara is, and I guess you pick up Latavius Murray only as a handcuff, because I don't think that if you don't have Kamara, there's any reason to have that dude on your roster.
I got you. Yeah.
All right, and let's see here. Of course, here's hype. This is probably nothing that we need to talk about, nothing to see here. But old Ben Roethlisberger said that, Najee Harris is going to be something. It's going to be something to see, So, that's, whatever. But I wanted to mention that because
I wonder what something to see he means. Do you think he means, like, man, like, I want to see, like, what this running back does? Or do you think he means, like, man, I want to bust into this women's restroom and see what's behind there? Because he's done both of those things. Remember that? Remember how he's done both of those things?
Golly, brother. What if that was a mistake that he learned from and he's a changed man?
Nope.
Okay.
Then why'd he do it a second time?
Well, old habits die hard. Okay, so, but he got his.
He's definitely gonna die hard. That's definitely how I would put it.
He got to pay back. He got a face full of windshield off his motorcycle. So the life threw a swing at him. Okay, so I'll end with this. Actually, it's a perfect one to end with because it segues right into what you want to talk about. It was reported that today, the end of practice today, Joe Burrow ended practice today by throwing a 40-yard touchdown to Higgins and then another one to Boyd in the back corner of the end zone. All right, so it seems like Joe Burrow is feeling pretty good, man. And he's going to have his old teammate Jamar Chase. Sleeper?
Jamar.
Sleeper? Is he a sleeper, man?
Is Jamar Chase or is Joe Burrow? Oh, yeah.
Burrow.
I mean, you saw me draft him in a couple of drafts.
Okay, so if yeah, of course. But would you see him as a QB1 or QB2?
Oh, he could be a QB1 for fantasy.
Yeah, like right off the bat? Or do you think he's going to have some rust he's going to have to knock off?
I think that he's going to be the type of guy where it's like he doesn't have a huge ceiling, but he has a high floor type guy. Like he scores, he's like scoring, his floor is like 18, but he's generally scoring 22 to 24 points a game type stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, if you look at our, whenever I get finished with this, with our new league, he'll be scoring more than that.
Oh, yes, he will. Yes, he will. Yeah. Freedom football.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're gonna get points for completions on that league. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Okay, man. Well, that segues perfectly to what you want to. Well, not perfectly. It used to be perfectly. Well, kind of perfectly. How about not perfectly,
perfect
but good
if you
enough?
make it. It's good enough.
Yeah, good
I
enough.
will take it from here. So yeah, Bengals, Giovanni Bernard. You guys know I have thoughts on these things. Now, there's a new trend that I've been noticing where a running back will have big legs, and they will take a picture of it and show it on the social media. Now, it started with Saquon. He was the first running back for them to ever do that with. Before that, no running back has had big legs, except for Earl Thomas, and he was the original.
Marshall Faulk had some thunder thighs, man.
I'm memeing right now. I'm joking. Okay. I just can't remember anyone before Saquon. There's Saquon, and there's A.J. Dillon, then Mike Davis earlier this year. And now Giovanni Bernard.
Marshawn Lynch. Yeah, he had thunder thighs, dude.
Marshawn Lynch, he had thunder everything. He had, no, dude, like, when you watch him, like, his running style, like, yeah, his legs were strong, but his upper body, like, because he would stiff arm people and he would there's this one time where like he headbutts a guy and like straight knocks the fool down.
Well, he on your first championship run, he's the one who like had you dominate like the first month. He helped him and Kamara. Yeah, helped dominate.
And Adrian Peterson. Shout out to Marshawn Lynch and Adrian Peterson. Y'all started what Dalvin Cook and Damian Williams ended. Now, look, I'm not that high on Giovanni Bernard. Just a service announcement, guys. Just because a guy has big legs on social media doesn't mean he's going to be good for fantasy.
Okay. Oh, that's your period at the end of that sentence?
Yeah, I'm evolving. Instead of just saying I hate Giovanni Bernard, I'm really passive aggressively and subliminally giving you reasons why not to draft him.
Giovanni. Well, I mean, dude, the reason why you don't draft him is because he's on the Bucks. I mean, who is it going to be? It's going to be Fournette. It's going to be Ronald Jones. Is it going to be Giovanni?
The answer is Tom Brady.
Actually, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, Tom Brady, actually, I think he's going to do fantastic this year. I think he's set up to do really well this year. So, and he's one of those guys that you can get really late in the draft also. Or, well, not really late, but like, what, 6th, 7th round, I think, right?
That's
something like that.
too early.
Okay. I think that's where he's going. Okay, all right, with that yawn, that exciting yawn, I think that means that we need to land this plane. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that, man. Thank you guys, everybody. Thank y'all so much for watching. I mean, hopefully you enjoyed the show. I know we spent a little bit of time on Julio Jones, but you know what? I don't know if any shows that's gone that deep and started talking about, what would happen. I bet you they're going to start now. You're welcome, Fantasy World. Okay, so please, if you enjoyed watching two generational beefheads bantering about Connor, what should they do?
Like and subscribe to the channel, and if you hate it, dislike it twice.
There you go. There you go. All right. We also want to go ahead and thank our supporters of the show, Sports Host app, and of course, High Volume Music Radio, the pride of Sunnyside. So make sure and download both those apps. You'll be happy that you did. One thing we need to make sure to mention real quick is, Connor, talk a little bit about that book of yours, my brother.
That was a book I wrote. It was about a guy that played football, and he learned a bunch of crazy things, like mentalism, and he had experiences. Like he saw the Phoenix Lights in Arizona, and he got to talk to the guitar player from The Who. It's an interesting book. It's really cheap. It's under $5. The link is in the bio. Go ahead and check it out. You won't be disappointed.
It was free. I guess the demand is starting to rise.
Oh, yeah.
And I can charge for it. Great. All right, man. It's time for parting shots. Brother, won't you start us off? Don't say be water. Don't say be water.
Man, don't trust yourself more than you trust anyone else when you play fantasy football, because only you can know how to manage your team. If at the end of the day, like what Brian said earlier, we're all just saying stuff, So that's what I try to do. I try to trust my gut, and it's gotten me a couple championships, So that's why I don't really listen to like 50 million shows. I don't do like a million drafts a day, Do other things and just do fantasy, in your free time. Look at the updates. Make sure you're not living under a rock, and you'll be good.
Well, see, this is why we're so good. We're such a good team, because I do about 100 mock drafts a day, and I do listen to a bunch of fantasy drafts.
No, but you don't listen to like 50.
Podcasts. Dude, I listen to some where I'm just like, what's this? What? It's almost like whenever you go down the rabbit hole of porn sites, you end up on some like, why am I looking at this?
Yeah.
I don't do that at all. So I go towards the fantasy football. So I'm like, why am I listening to this jackass? I mean,
So did you hear that, guys? Fantasy football is his porn.
Well, yeah, because porn is not my porn. I don't do that. Yeah, so
fuck porn.
Dude, you're in your 20s, man. Enjoy it while you can, dude. But me, I'm out to pasture. That's not a thing. For me anymore.
I'm trying to make my life porn, not just.
I'm married. I'm happy with the wife I have. She's well enough for me. Nice. And of course, dude, my parting shot, dude, is kind of almost along the same lines. Is the ADP? Make sure that's not the gospel, guys. And make sure you're making your own decisions, because if you're watching any fantasy football show or any show in general that tells you I know the best and I'm right and you're wrong, no, they're wrong. Okay, nobody's right. That's why they all have segments called "My Bad" or "I'm Sorry" or "Oops" or some mess like that, because they mess up. We mess up. We do. We confess. If they're good people, they'll confess. So. Make your own decisions, and be happy because it's your team. Play it your way. All right, on behalf of Connor, the Gut Marshal, and me, your humble C. Brian, the Migo Baldwin, we want to thank you for watching, and we hope that this year's a damn sight better than the last. And Connor, help me out here, man. And remember, everyone, in fantasy football, as in life,
don't just dream it, be it.
Yeah. Well, good enough. I mean, it's the rule.
I added in just, but it's okay.
I know. No, it's not. That's but it'll work. It'll work. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you next week.